In this activity, we'll be creating a program that utilizes lifetimes with functions. Once you're ready, load up Visual Studio Code and we can get started. Once Visual Studio Code loads, navigate to your Activities directory. We are on Activity 33, so double-click on A33.rs. Once your activity file loads, review the topic and program requirements. Attempt to implement a solution on your own with the video paused. Once completed, resume the video and I will demonstrate my implementation as well as provide insights to the activity topic. All right, let's get started. This topic is about lifetimes and functions. We have a summary here, and it just states that we need to create a program that compares which string is longer, or which string has the highest length. The requirements are that the comparison must be done using a function named longest, so we'll be creating a function. No data may be copied, so we can't use toOwned or .toString. And if both strings are the same length, the first one should be returned. So the first thing I'll do is create the function that's part of the requirements. So we'll name it longest as stated, and it will accept 2 borrowed strs. So we have a 1 and we have a 2. It's also going to need to return a borrowed stir because it needs to figure out which one's longer. In the function body, we'll just do if 2 is greater than 1, we'll return 2. Otherwise, we'll return 1. This also satisfies the third requirement. So if the second string is greater than the first string, we'll return the second string. And all other cases, we'll get the first string. So if they're equal, we'll also get the first string back. Next thing I'll do is we'll try to run this program. So we already have a print line here. And it tries to run the longest function that we just made, and it gives it the short one and the long one. So according to our code, we should get this long string here printed out. So let's open up a terminal and see what we get. To open up a terminal, go to Terminal, New Terminal. We are on Activity 33, so we can just do a cargo run --bin A33. So as you can see, it's not running. We have a missing lifetime specifier error. So we have to have a lifetime parameter here. The help message is telling us that the function's return type contains a borrowed value, but the signature does not say whether it's borrowed from 1 or 2. It tells us to fix this, we can do lifetime annotations. So we have tick A, tick A, tick A, and tick A. So if we just annotate everything with tick A, the program should run and we should get the result that we want. So let's hop back to the code and do that. Back in the code, we'll add our generic lifetime and we'll add it right here as well. And right here and right here. So now we've annotated everything with tick A. Let's run the code and see if it works. And there we go. We get this is a long message, which is the longest message because the other message just stated the short one. Let's jump back to the code and see how this actually works. When we first wrote this longest function, we had 3 borrowed values. We had 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. What happens when we return a borrowed value from a function is Rust needs to know where it came from. If we just had, for example, 1 right there, and didn't have the other function parameter, then Rust would know that we're borrowing from this one, and so then it can return knowing that information. However, since we have 2 things here, we have a 1 and a 2, Rust doesn't know if it's coming from here, or if it's coming from here, or if we're creating a whole new borrow inside. When we add these lifetime annotations back, our tick A's here, 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 and here, we're telling Rust that the borrowed value that's being returned is coming from either this variable or from this variable. So there's no new borrows that are going to occur in the function. And if there are, it's guaranteed to come from 1 or come from 2. And these lifetime annotations are here to make sure the compiler is aware that this is occurring. We can also see that the short and long data is created before we call the longest function. So all this checks out as far as lifetimes go. This concludes the activity on lifetimes and functions. I'll see you in the next presentation.